service, which should be in just a moment. I believe we're live. I hope we're live. If we're live, then welcome to the show. I see everybody now. Good deal. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome. Look at all the people that we have in the super chat. Bill H, welcome. Gary Symons or Symons, John Wayne, Eric PPG Lear, Lift Paramotor Joshua Marsh, Care PPG, Jim Snard from Canada, welcome. We got so many people here. Thank you very much. Don't forget to say hello in the super chat. We might be giving away something. Tommy Mosley in the house, Shane Wyman. Welcome, everybody. This is Sean Symons, also known as PPG Grandpa. You're watching ClearProp TV, listening to paratalk.org. Welcome, everyone. As we normally do, we say hello to everyone in the chat. So let's go ahead and start off with our very own Linda Anderson, Paramom USA. Welcome to the show, Linda. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Welcome, welcome, everybody.
Where's the pom-poms? Pom-poms.
Oh, right here. There we go.
Yay, welcome.
Yay. Welcome, welcome. Yes, I'm the cheerleader. I'm the cheerleader of the bunch, yes. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, my guests, Mark and Alayna. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I promise you won't be disappointed. We're going to have a blast here. Thank you, chatters and my viewers, for coming on tonight and joining us on Monday night, my favorite night of the week. Don't tell Robert that.
We won't tell him.
No. And if you want to catch Robert Michaels, you can catch him on Thursday night, paraglidingchuck.com. And I'll be right there hanging with everybody. And like I said, thank you so much.
Absolutely. If you want to be on the show, make sure you get up with Linda Anderson. Go to paramomusa.com. It forwards over to her Facebook page. Just say, yo, I want to be on PPG Grandpa's Paramotor Podcast, ClearProp TV, paratalk.org, and she will hook you up. So thank you very much, Linda. Welcome to the show. We also got Jim from Canada, from carepp.com and careppg.com. Welcome, Jim.
Hey, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. Look what I finally got in the mail, guys. Some stickers. I've been out of stickers, so if you want stickers or requested stickers, Jim just sent me a whole bunch. They smell like maple syrup, so I will get these out as soon as possible. Jim, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us, buddy.
Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Now we know every Monday we ask you, how many flights have you taken? What flight are you on?
I think it's 118.
118. Good deal. Well, thank you so much, buddy. You know, if you want to get up with Jim's crazy shenanigans, go to careppg.com. If you need some stickers or want something printed, he'll hook you up. Just go to carepp.com, carepp.com, right?
That's right.
Awesome. Thanks, Jim. Welcome. We also got Will Fly from Will Fly PPG. He's driving home right now. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing great, man. Just coming back from the best flying of my life. It was awesome. I'm still on that high, but it's a grand opening here at Buc-ee's and thought we'd check it out. So I'm going to slip off of my phone so that I can get on my computer and join you guys.
Awesome. We'll be there. We'll see you in just a moment, guys. Thank you very much.
Grab a bag of the dark chocolate beaver nuggets. They're really good. Got some on the way home other day.
Well, here we go. I'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks, Will. And I guess we got Will Fly's brother, Jerry Fly.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. And Jerry's just going to hang out with us on the panel. Thank you very much for joining us, Jerry. But it's not about you guys. It's not about the panel. It's not about me. Tonight is about Mark and Alayna Huneycutt. They are amazing people. If you don't know Mark and Alayna Huneycutt, oh my God, they are adorable. They're cute. They're humble. They fly paramotors, and they've been on YouTube for quite a while. So welcome, Mark and Alayna, to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
absolutely. I miss bad apples. I was under the weather and I didn't want to bring my under the weather to bad apples. And I missed you guys so much. I cannot believe I missed you at Bad Apples. But tonight, I guess we need to ask you how Bad Apples was. But first, before we do that, I don't know if there's anybody out there in the super chat that doesn't know Mark and Alayna Huneycutt. Matter of fact, guys, if you're in the super chat, let us know. Do you know Mark and Alayna Huneycutt already? or they like somebody completely new that you never heard of before. Mark and Alayna, welcome to the show. We appreciate you. Tell us a little bit about how you got into paramotors, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Cool. Yeah. So back in 2014, I bought a paramotor, really old one on Craigslist, and me and a buddy self-taught ourselves in a peanut field in the middle of Alabama in the middle of the day. And my first 2 flights were engine outs, and that's how I learned. And ever since then, I've been flying. I kind of took a break and bought new gear in 2016, but yeah, I've been flying since then. I've been flying lots of aviation stuff since 2007. So yeah, that's how I did it.
Mhm.
How'd you do it?
And yeah, and how about your amazing wife, Elena?
Well, Mark Huneycutt slid into my DMs, and then I started learning from him pretty much immediately as soon as we started dating. We talked about it a bunch before we ever even hung out. I had told him I was like interested in it. So pretty much our first date was my first kiting session. And then our second date was Bad Apples 2018. And I kited a bunch there too.
Yeah.
Good
That is-
job, Mark.
That's so,
awesome.
You did good. Well, that's really awesome. Now, you guys have joined up with PPG Pirate, I believe, and started a new company. Want to talk about that?
Yeah, so PPG Pirate, which hearing that was weird because I didn't even know it at first, but PPG Pirate is Brook Sheffield. He had a red pill paramotor, and he was teaching in primarily Johnson City, Tennessee. And then I was trying to do tandems in the Asheville area, and then we were like, you know what, let's just join up. So we joined forces, and we kept the logo, but we changed the name to Pinnacle Paramotor. And so Pinnacle Paramotor is me and Brooks flight school, and we do like 7-day trainings, session trainings, sell gear, and we do tandems as well. Brooke has a big old Fly Products Eco 2 Light with the Road Tax engine that he takes people on.
Pretty awesome. So now you guys are now you've had this for about a month or so. Is that right? You've been training for about a month over at Pinnacle Paramotors?
I've been training for a few months with Brooke, and then Brooke has been training. I don't know how long he's been training, a year and a half, too. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I might send him a text, see where he's at, see if he'll join in this chat. But yeah.
All right. We got some questions in the chat. Who wants to ask the questions that are in the chat? Jim?
Yeah, we got a question from Nick Griffith. He's wondering if you guys left a chair.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oops.
No, we didn't leave a chair. So I don't know.
Had Bad Apples. No.
Here I was thinking it was like a one-wheel chair or something like that.
Last year we left a chair, but not this year.
Well, you're doing better. That's great. So then we also have a question. Do you guys know who won the paramotor at Bad Apples?
I think it was Jack from Team Fly Halo. I think. I could be wrong, but I could have sworn.
Jacquees Burton down in Navarre Beach won it.
Oh, am I wrong? I'm wrong then. Yeah, I don't know.
Everybody calls him Jack Burton.
Cool.
Oh,
Steve.
Jack won it? Jack won it?
His name is actually Jacques.
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 Is it Jacques or
We're
Jack?
nailing it.
Jacquees.
I'm
So
Fred.
Jacques won it. Jacques won the motor?
Yeah, he won it.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
Cool. I got it right.
Yeah,
I guess I call him Jack.
that's cool.
Yeah, same. I call him Jack.
That's cool.
Okay.
Yay, Jack. Go Jack. Jack. Is that how you have to say his name? Jock, not Jack.
Jacques. It's actually, we both have the same name. In English, it's Jim. Seriously.
We believe you.
Jock. Okay, on another note.
All right. Now, before the show started, we started talking a little bit about your new paramotors that you have and the paramotors that you fly. And I'm sure that some of the questions that are going to be popping up are, because this happens all the time. What are your go-to wings? What do you fly right now? And what's your next motor that you would like to have?
So this is how it went down. I went to Bad Apples with the intention of coming home with a different paramotor. So I brought some cash with me. So, and I had the plan to sell my McFly on the way home. So yesterday I bought a Fly Products rider, double hoop, 140 prop, factory R. And then a couple hours later, I sold my McFly on the way home in Atlanta. And I bought that Fly Products from One Up Adventures. And also we bought an Air Conception Revolution 200, which is pretty darn new. That is on its way. It should be here anytime. It landed in Indianapolis. And then
That one's for me.
that one's for Elena for sure. Because we just sold the Nitro 200 that I had bought in 2018 that she always flew. So she needed something. I don't know. We've been buying a lot of stuff. I've bought like 2 reserves in the last few days and all kinds of stuff.
But yeah, we haven't, well, the Revolution hasn't got here yet, but I'm really excited for it to get here. Eric DeFore let us kind of put, he has a Revolution and he let us put it on our back and just get a feel for it. And it's like really, really exciting. I cannot wait to get it. That's just like, in my opinion, Nitro, which the Revolution is, I guess, being promoted as like kind of like a vamped up Nitro. That's like my perfect motor to me. I just can't get on board with an Atom 80. I really try to like them, but it's just not enough power for me, especially because we're in the mountains. And so we kind of need a little bit of oomph to get up and away. But the Moster's a little too heavy for me. And I have a hard time pull starting it. They're great motors, but I like something like right in the middle, which is kind of what the Nitro or the Revolution offers. Actually, I think what they're saying is the Revolution actually has similar power to a Moster 185. So I'm excited about that. It's a nice lightweight motor and it has e-start, which I really like. So yeah, hopefully that'll get here this week and we can fly it ASAP.
Yeah, it's dual start, which is nice because our Nitro 200 was strictly e-start, which was fine. The Nitro 200 e-start was actually very reliable. I mean, I never had issues in 4 years, but this one will have pull start too, which is good just in case.
For backup.
And it's clutched. Our Nitro 200 was not clutched.
So then wings, though, I'm still rocking the Ramaflex, still like it. But I also got a new free flight wing that I like to motor with. It's a Gen Falcon. Yours is a Gen Falcon. Mine's a Gen Explorer 2. And it is a free flight wing, but it's really nice to motor with it too. And both of those are 20 meters. So that's the wings in my quiver.
Yep. And then I got the Gen Falcon 20 Ozone Buzz E5, which I've had for a long time. And actually, I just got an invoice from Superfly today for a Gen Fuse 3, which I'm really excited about for tandems.
Wow, that is so cool. I got a Vantage 3. It's the motor free flight hybrid one. I really like that. I want to get a Falcon. I think a Falcon would be pretty cool. And I know somebody else that has a Falcon. So can you tell us a little bit about have you flown the Falcon? A lot. So tell us a little bit about the Falcon and what do you think about it?
I think it's been a great wing for me. I had a lot of fun adventures on it in Korea. That's actually where I got it. Chris Santacroce from Superfly hooked me up in Korea. I literally went to the Gen factory in Korea and picked my wing up, and it was super cool getting to see where it comes from. And yeah, so that's where I first got my wing. I flew it a ton. I flew to islands and camped. I flew all over Korea with that thing, and I'm still flying with it. It's been great so far. I mean, I love it.
I have to admit that when I first started thinking about getting into paramotors, I was looking online and you came up, Anthony Vella, and some kid Tucker somebody, and Tucker I guess is all right, but man, I tell you what, your adventures over in Korea, Tucker, God, I know, your adventures in Korea really seemed like it was really fun. I mean, you free fly, you motor. What is your favorite, and how do you hop back and forth from motoring to free flight?
Yeah, that's hard because they're so different, and they're both so enjoyable. Like, I mean, the beauty is like I could go paramotor in the morning, go midday flying, free flying, and then go paramotor at night. And I've definitely done that. But there's a whole different challenge to free flying because like you might spend 5 hours prepping and get a 5-minute sled run and then it's all over, but when you do all that prepping and then you actually have a long flight, it feels really rewarding. It's just fun. No motor noise or anything, nice and quiet.
Now, Elena, do you free fly too, or you just motor?
Yes, Mark is definitely the more experienced free flyer of the two of us, but I have done a bit of free flying, and it's funny because like I maybe have done free flying in more states and country than somebody who might have way more hours than me. Like my first free flights were in my first like 15 free flights were in Korea. And then I went and got training in Oklahoma. And then I like every time we go to Utah, which we like to go like pretty much a couple times a year, we go out there to fly. So, and then here we do it around here some too. So yeah.
That is so cool. You're in Oklahoma. You're right next to me. Where'd you fly from? What mountains?
It was with Britton Shaw and kind of his gang out there at Buffalo Mountain and Panorama.
And Talihina.
Is that the name of the town? Talihina?
That's who trained me too, and I was out there too on the mountains and stuff. So that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, we love Britton.
Yeah, Britton's an awesome guy. That was pretty awesome. Okay, I think we got some questions in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. We're wondering, are you doing Pinnacle full time right now?
So yeah, Pinnacle Paramotor is, I guess you could say it's my full-time job. Yeah. I mean, got out of the military July 16th of the last year, and it's my, I guess you would say, one of my primary sources of income. Yeah, pretty much. And
we're wondering, do you, or Julian Gates was wondering if you teach free flying as well as paramotor.
So we don't teach free flying, but if you wanted to learn in this area, we have a guy that teaches free flying in the Hendersonville, Asheville area as well. So we could put you in touch with that guy. We don't, we're trying to figure out maybe some kind of package deal where students could get both done if they're here. But yeah, we got someone around here and there's good places to learn.
Cool. So have you got any plans to build a platform at your place so that you can launch?
Man, I was just talking about this with Pablo. Pablo helped me fix my French drain from afar at my house, and he was also trying to figure out how to build a ramp to launch from my house. And maybe in time when I
cool. I think
cash.
PPG, the other Nick asked that question, so maybe he's got some inside info on it.
Yeah, it would be. I'm looking out the window and thinking about it right now, and really, this spot's not ideal for free flying because if you sink out, you're in the trees. Whereas, like with the motor, I launch with the motor because I can instantly give it power and then get into the lift and get off the power.
So you live in the mountains right now. How high are you right now as far as altitude above sea level?
This where our house sits is about 3,400 feet, and then our training field is about 1,800 to 2,000 feet. I think it's
1,800 feet, you said?
Yeah.
Does that cause any issues as far as getting students in the air as far as that altitude, or everything's pretty okay?
Yeah, everything's fine. I mean, this is where I primarily, I actually wouldn't say I primarily spent most of my time flying here, but I'm pretty used to it.
That's my altitude as well.
Yeah, it's not too bad, is it?
No, I don't think so. It's a lot better in the wintertime.
Oh yeah, it's a hot day. I mean, when your density altitude is high, it can be a little more difficult, I suppose, but nothing's harder than a morning nil wind flight when the grass is wet anyways, no matter where you are.
That's true. We're about 300 feet above sea level, so I think that we have a little bit more lift than you guys. Because you guys are up in the mountains, do you up your wing size or up the students' wing size, or how do you judge wing size for students where they're actually located, or how do you guys do that?
Just based off their weight, mainly.
Off just their weight.
Yeah, we don't really have to adjust for any kind of altitude up here. It's not, maybe if you were much higher, but not really here.
The students would know how to adjust their carburetor for different altitudes.
Yeah, and generally here it's not bad either. I mean, if you're adjusted for sea level, you'll be fine here as well. I mean, you could adjust it a little bit for.
Some guys switch out their spark plugs between like summer and winter, but not much else.
All right. We got a lot of people here in the panel. We got Brook Sheffield, looks like he's here. Good to see you there, Mr. Pirate. And JP Tulo, Will Fly, Jerry Fly. Anybody on the panel have any questions for Mark and Alayna?
We got another question from Mike Pendleton. He's wondering if you're going to be teaching PPG 3 ratings.
PPG 3, that would be a good question for Brook Sheffield. He'll have to chime in on that one for sure, because I'm the one with the ASC rating, and he's the one with the USPPA rating. So he'd be the guy to ask there.
Yeah, we definitely do PPG 3. We've already had some people come through and take it already. So yeah, we're here for that. And for our students, they're able to come back and check out for PPG 3 without any additional charges as well.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
And like I said, I joined up with Brook pretty recently, so he's been doing it a bit longer than me, so he knows the ropes of that a little more.
So yeah, I got a question for you, Mark. What made you want to start teaching?
Just sitting around doing nothing.
Good reason, man.
Yeah, it's been enjoyable. I mean, when I'm not going to dime out who it was, but when a grown man lands and just starts bawling, crying, just a full release after his first flight, it's pretty emotional to see. It's pretty awesome to see how life-changing it is.
Get tired of seeing that, do you?
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally agree. DP has joined us on the panel. Welcome, DP. Glad you made it, buddy. Any other questions on the panel before we continue our interview?
Somebody asked why we ditched the MacFly. We didn't want to ditch the MacFly, but we had to get something we needed rather than something we like really wanted.
Yeah. So I really love the McFly. We don't sell it. But I'm going to say that it's awesome. Like, it has the best torque compensation in anything I've flown. Like, if you get the one with the carbon fiber spars. So I was flying an extra large frame, carbon fiber spars, the engine is offset, and you have the swing arm compensation, and you're just going along and you hit full power and that thing just doesn't even move left or right. It's amazing. I really enjoyed it. It was sad to see it go. Like, Judson Graham was sitting next to me when I was at Bad Apples, when I was cleaning it up and about to sell it. And he's like, "So why are you getting rid of the golden child?" Or what did he say? He said something like,
"Oh,
that.
your golden paramotor."
Golden paramotor. I'm like, dude, I don't want to talk about it.
That was it's such a nice motor. I really liked it for Mark, and I thought, like, man, when you saw him flying, the netting was like green and his wings greened, and it was just like a sexy setup.
Yeah. But
like our plans for this new Fly Products rider is to put it on a flash cruiser eventually, so that we can do tandems and be able to take students up, as well as Brook. He's already taking people up, but I mean, we have a foot launch set up for tandem, but we really wanted a good motor for a trike, and so had to give up one to get the other. But
yeah, the McFly does have it actually has a pretty darn good tandem trike, but it's hard to beat Fly Products trikes, to be honest. I mean, they're really good.
Awesome. DP, were you going to say something or no? No? Okay. I thought you were. Oh, okay. I when I asked if there was a question, I thought you were going to say something.
No, sir.
JP, anything?
I got my McFly right about the same time that Mark did. I remember that. It was like he put out a video like right around the time I was putting mine together that he got his, and I was like, oh, get the heck out of here.
Did you get the same one as me?
It was, I have the smaller one, but it was the Moster with the carbon spars and gray netting.
How straight does that thing fly?
It's wicked. It's perfect. It's like zero effort, and but it's not draggy either. You know, yeah. I think it's got the perfect mix of, you know, just all the right stuff.
Now it's discontinued?
No, they still have it.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
we just had to get rid of ours, but yeah, that thing flies straight as an arrow.
Yeah, it's great. I think it flies straighter than the Scout, you know, because the Scout has the carbon fiber spars, and I remember flying, because I've flown Tuckers a long time ago, and maybe flown another one, and it has great torque compensation too, the Scout, but the McFly I thought flew a little straighter.
So it is McFly and not MacFly.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I love McFly. That's, you know.
I know. I think I think of Back to the Future. Every time he says McFly, yeah. I'm like, hello, McFly. Yeah. Awesome. We also got some more questions in the chat. Who wants to ask those questions?
Well, you got Bill H. Let's see, Mark, did we already cover the next fly-ins you guys are going to attend?
Yes, so definitely Moonshiners, and then I think Endless Foot Drag, and maybe Brooke and I like schedule classes around the fly-ins. I think the other one was in Indiana. What's that one called?
Oh,
I haven't been to that one, but I can't remember what it's called.
The fly-in
Indiana. Can't remember either, but that's right above me by a couple hundred
miles. We talked about Dave Purdon's.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Dave Purdon's, yes.
Yeah, if you haven't been to Purdon's, highly recommended.
I haven't
heard that
been
one's
there.
really good.
It is good.
Where is Dave Purdon's flying?
Portsmouth, Ohio. So south end.
Yeah. West Portsmouth.
Patty area.
Okay.
Right on the Ohio River. Every morning the fog rolls in right over the river, but not such that you can't fly. You just fly right over it. There's like a river of fog. It's absolutely breathtaking. I've got some fantastic photos from that. You can't beat it. So nice.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll have to. I think we're gonna go to that one. I got some family.
It's usually in like the beginning of September, I think.
Cool.
So
yeah,
isn't that when's Endless Foot Drag this year?
It's September, I think 19th through the 26th. I have to confirm that with Sean Hayden, but yeah, it's in September as well.
Labor Day weekend.
Okay.
Is there dates for Moonshiners yet?
I think so. August something probably.
Yeah, there is. I just don't know exactly what it is, but it has been posted.
I'm going to PPG Zone.
Yeah, you can go to flyindirectory.com and it forwards over to the PPG Zones fly-in that they have. He tries to keep up with everything, Josh does, and puts it on there. If they're missing, or if we're missing a fly-in, just email Josh over at PPG Zone and he'll put it on the flyindirectory.com.
Cool. You can do it yourself as well. There's a spot where you just click on there and you can enter it in.
Okay. Hey, since we got so many people up here, it's 7:30 real quick. Brooke, if you turn your phone sideways, we'll be able to see a little bit better. Let's go ahead and get a thumbnail real quick. Who's into a thumbnail? Who can do a thumbnail? I think I might have to do this thumbnail. Or if I could do that with my... All right. 3, 2, 1, cheese. I think we did it. I heard it click.
That was me.
JP, are you on your Mac too?
Did it again.
And if you are, you're on mute, so I can't hear you.
Yes, give me just 1 second.
Yeah.
All right.
Everyone smile.
Wait.
Two,
Wait.
two and a half.
Wait.
Hey, no makeup.
Okay, go
Hey,
ahead.
got a call for makeup here.
Doing 5 quarters. Here we go. We got
She
it.
takes off her glasses. I put on glasses. How about that? All right. That is so
That's
awesome.
funny. I gotta teach you right. Gee. Put your glasses on. You
Keep
take
the
them off,
glasses
they
on. It
look
looks
like dark.
great.
Well, if you don't have the glasses on, the picture will be blurry.
Oh
No.
my goodness.
Funny.
So Moonshiners, EFT, Dave Purdens are the fly-ins that you plan on going to, probably for sure.
Yeah, and I'd like to attend Salt and Sea one day. I missed out on that.
Oh, I'd love to do that too.
Stinky.
Yeah,
Isn't it stinky?
And the flying circus. I
That's
mean,
that's a stinky place.
Yeah, I saw.
Uncle Press Lick is wondering if you guys have met Jade Lear flying flamingo, and if you would want to be on.
Have you met Flying Flamingo Jade?
Yep.
I don't think so.
Girls just want to fly.
She was
does-
the one with all the cool shirts hanging up along the tents, like 10 or 15 shirts hanging up.
She had
Right.
some cool underwear too.
Yes, she did.
I don't know. Will, did you see those at her table?
Oh, is
I
that Steve
ran in-
Minty?
Those were hanging up. I ran into him several times.
Oh God, don't tell me Steve Minty put them
Is
on.
Steve Minty leave his
please
underwear
tell
out
me
there
Steve
somewhere?
Minty didn't put them on.
Oh, Lord.
Steve, I'm sorry, but Steve is my favorite fashionista. I call him my fashionista. Yes. I wouldn't know how half that stuff looks if he didn't try them on first. Because then I have to know if I like it or not.
He's never gonna top Mark though. Mark, what year was it? Was it last year or the year before you flew the blow up doll?
oh my God, that's right.
That was legit.
That was 2018. You know,
2018.
yeah, because
Long time ago.
Eric from Aviator PPG wanted me to do a review on the Nitro, and I was like, all right. So I took that doll up and did a review for him and didn't say anything about the doll in the video.
That's a good looking doll.
My gosh, that was so funny.
That's awesome.
So, do you plan on doing any other fun videos like that, as far as like having dolls or things like that, and reviewing, or what are your plans in the future for more videos?
I should have a it's the Revolution 200. Since I'm getting that and there's really not any good information out on it, I want to do a good video on that one. I know, assemble it and run it in and let students use it and whatnot, and let people know what that's all about. And also probably the Fly Products Factory R rider that I got, and then a Parajet Maverick as well. Yeah, we just have a bunch of
Bunch of motor reviews.
yeah, pretty much, because we just bought a bunch of random stuff and maybe some reserve stuff. I don't know. I got like some really big reserves recently. I got a Beamer 170 light, so that'll bring me down real slow. I got Charlie steerable 220, which I'm gonna use for tandem. So we got all kinds of fun gear.
Is
Do
the
you
Beamer
ever-
steerable?
I got a Beamer. It's terrible.
Okay.
I got a Beamer. I need it repacked, but I don't know if I want to go up and toss it to see how good of steering it is or not. But have you ever thought about going up and throwing reserves and talking about the reserves that you're selling too?
Yeah, actually, so we have an SIV tow club here, and they keep asking us to join, but do I want to spend $2,000 to join the club or not? It's a good deal if you're doing SIV a lot, but so if I was in that scenario, I'd throw the reserve. I think it'd be fun to throw reserves and do like reserve reviews. That would be interesting.
Have you ever done an SIV?
Yeah, with Andy Fuller down at Skylab SIV,
Mhm.
I actually threw a few reserves there.
I almost threw up after watching that.
Have you ever thrown a reserve outside of an SIV?
No.
Nick Griffith wants to know. No?
No, just I threw 3 there, and I haven't thrown one outside of it. Luckily, we did witness some guy throw a reserve at Bad Apples, but he is totally fine. He landed, and he got all his stuff out of the tree, which it's probably a good thing he landed in a tree. Will Fly knows this. He took a video of it, but
Me and Sean got him out of the tree. He didn't even break a prop, didn't bend a cage piece. We totally saved his motor.
I don't know how he didn't bend his motor when they like cut it down and it hit the ground.
Yeah, it almost hit the ground. Me and him ran up and caught it, but the winch was going as we cut the line. As Sean Hayden was at the top of the ladder, the winch, as soon as he cut it, we started pulling the winch line. And so when it swung down, it barely missed the ground by like maybe half a foot.
Dang. Yeah,
So like he didn't even break a prop or anything.
Can you imagine like throwing a reserve?
Yeah, it was.
And then your paramotor almost gets obliterated from cutting it down.
Yeah, I heard that.
And then
By the
doesn't
way,
at all.
$150 reserve. That's what he paid for that reserve. $150 saved his life.
What, man? It's only worth $150. I'll tell you what, we would not we would brave. I mean, man, I thought it was like $600-800, you know.
Yeah.
I've spent like 10 to 20 times that recently.
Mine cost me $2,000.
Yeah, they're not, especially these big ones I've been getting, they're not cheap at all.
The Beamer that I got was $1,200, but you're talking about the bigger ones for your trike.
No, I mean, well, the 220 is for doing foot launch tandems, and I would, and triking to a certain degree. And then the 170 is better for like solo or free flight tandems. Yeah.
And what do you think is better? Just your opinion, the round, the square, or steerable like a Beamer?
Well, I think they're all pretty darn good if you get the new stuff. Like we threw 4 reserves collectively in SIV, and I think we threw some Angel.
I threw a square.
She threw a square. That all of them came out really good. I mean, also Andy was repacking them. Did we throw any rounds? We threw a round. I don't know what it was though, but I like the Angel squares. Obviously the Beamer's really good. Like professionals like Theo DeBlick only use Beamers. Like he has a video where he throws like 6 emergency Beamer, and they always open very fast, and he lands on his feet most of the time.
That's what I heard. I figured if I want to go down on a reserve, I want something that can steer. Can you flare with the Beamer?
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
I don't think it has tons of flare authority, but yeah, you can. And then also after SIV, like when I was first getting into paramotoring, I would get the lightest reserves because I just wanted lightweight stuff. And I still want lightweight reserves, but nowadays I get like bigger reserves. Like my personal reserve is Independence Ultracross 150. So, I mean, I weigh 160 pounds and I have a reserve that can support up to 330 pounds for myself. So I just recommend big reserves for so you come down nice and slow if you ever have to use one.
Yep, smart.
I agree. I'd rather land on my feet than break an ankle. And I'm afraid that, especially where I am, and you are too, you're in the mountain stuff too. So, there's lots of power lines, there's trees, there's rivers. And if you're going to throw a reserve, I'd want a little bit of ability to maneuver around obstacles that I don't want to land in.
Yeah, and I think that's the benefit to the steerable. Like this Charlie, actually the Charlie steerable I just got, I didn't even know it was a thing. It's actually a square steerable, which is kind of weird. It's kind of interesting, but I doubt it has much forward speed, but at least maybe you could get a turn in to maybe get away from an obstacle or something, but I doubt it has much forward speed.
And what'd you say that was?
Charlie, who makes it?
CHARLY, I think is the name of the company. Okay. The proper name, I'll have to look it up.
So that's a square reserve that's steerable. I haven't heard about that one, so I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah,
that's what I like about doing these podcasts. You always learn something. I mean, it's awesome. I love this stuff.
Yeah, check it. It's called the Charlie Diamond Cross Reserve.
So here's a question for you. Do you always fly with a reserve, or do you fly with different reserves for different things, and maybe not fly with the reserve in certain conditions? Or what is your take on reserves?
I don't really ever fly without one. Like that's why it's nice to have a front mount reserve, because like when we go places and we want to try stuff and they don't have a reserve on it, well, I can just throw one on the carabiners. Like for instance, Aviator PPG at Bad Apples had all their new limitless paramotors on display without reserves on them. So I just threw my beamer on it and I felt a lot safer going for that flight.
Yeah, and like when we've gone to literally any country, like, or when we go out to Utah, and they're doing a bunch of free flying out there and we borrow gear from somebody, the front mount's really nice. As far as like switching up reserves, our paramotors pretty much like we like to do a side mount because it's nice not to have it like slapping your lap while you're running.
Yeah.
So each of us always have a side mount that just always stays on our motors. But for free flight, my harness does have a side mount also, but we do have the one front mount, and it's just nice we never know what situation we're going to find ourselves in. There's many times where that front mount has come in handy for like, oh, this doesn't have a reserve, let's throw it on. Like Mark said, we just pretty much never fly without a reserve.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good thing. Real quick, everybody in the super chat, if you fly a paramotor, I know I ask this a lot, do you fly with reserve or without reserve? If you fly with reserve, what do you fly? Or what do you pack? What reserve do you pack?
I have more reserves than I have stuff to put them on.
Do you really?
Yeah, I have like,
Nerd.
I'm looking at one right now that needs to go inside of something.
That is very interesting. I got one reserve. I got that beamer with it's a front mount because I'm like you. It's like if I want to try something else or use a different motor, it's really easy to change. I like the front mount. You guys in super chat, what do you think about front mount? In the panel, who flies with the reserve?
I have one.
So I'm in the same situation as them. I've got a permanent side mount on my MacFly that I don't go up without it basically, and then I've got a Gin flight dash container, front mount container that I'm able to take with me, and it just clips in to the main risers on any machine if I'm ever flying someone else's stuff or whatever. That way, which is really when you want to have, reserve anyways. If you're not familiar with, whatever, I really like to have that extra layer of safety of going up with a reserve that I know is good. It's my own and everything. So it's the Advanced Companion round square SQR. It's like a hybrid. So, and it works really well.
Yeah.
And
Well,
JP is the only person I know that actually has thrown a reserve, in a situation. Actually had to toss laundry. It wasn't an SIV.
What happened?
This was early on. I was probably a 30-hour pilot when it happened. I was just doing like mild wingovers on a Pegasus 2. Actually, I scratched that. I was doing like a little spiral, and I had the stabilo line basically snapped, and it like threw me into not a barrel roll, but a kind of a roll, as much of a roll you can do on a Pegasus, and threw me the other way into a spiral, and it just completely locked in. It didn't matter how much outside brake I put on, because if you imagine it without the stabilo, that wingtip is kind of just flapping in the air, and I wasn't able to pull out of it. And I started at 3,000, and around the 1,000 foot mark is where I realized, everything I was doing wasn't changing the situation. So I threw it. It worked. It saved me. I landed in some corn and lived to fly another day. So,
Dude,
I
congrats.
love corn.
That's why we should fly with reserves, because you never know when something crazy like that's
Right.
You aren't even doing anything that insane and a line snapped on you. I mean,
Yeah.
That's like, it's like, it comes down, there was like a couple weeks ago, we were out in the field and there was a motor that didn't have a reserve on it. And I think it was a a new student, and he was like, hey, will you test my gear out? Which I guess that's pretty common for like new guys. They're like, I just got my gear, man. They want to instill some confidence in it. So they're like going to their instructor or buddy, and they're like, will you just fly my gear? But he didn't have a reserve on it. He had his reserves, but he was missing the medallions or the mallions, the medallions, the mallions.
I like medallions. I like it.
We should officially change the name from mallions to medallions.
It's
I like
medallions for me.
I think during training it took us like a couple minutes to figure out what the proper name was with some students. It was funny.
So anyways, he wanted Mark to fly it, and he's like, I have the reserve, but I don't have the mallions. And they were like standing there debating, like, well, I mean, nothing's crazy going on. Like, you could just take it really quick. You don't need a reserve. And we were like, meh. And then we stood there, and I was like, and Brooke was like, if you want, I have mallions. And everybody was still kind of humming and hawing over it. And then finally I was like, let's just go get them. Let's just go get them. It's like probably 99% chance nothing's going to happen. But how horrible would it be if something did, and all it took was like 5 minutes for us to throw it on? Like, and that's what it was. We went and got Brooks mallions, took his off and threw him on that motor. Mark took it up. Everything was fine. But it's just a matter of like, if it had, we'd all have been just absolutely beating ourselves up for not taking the 5-10 minutes. That's all it was.
Yeah, we have, I think the reserve was off on that one because
it was new.
It was new, or we were swapping around. So it was good to get it on there for him. But yeah, all our student units have reserves on there before they go up.
Yeah, this guy had like just gotten his new gear though, and he had it. He just hadn't attached it and was missing a mallion. So
you send students up with reserves?
Yeah, we do now.
Interesting. Can I hear about this? Because that seems to be the opposite. That seems to be the opposite of what a lot of schools do. What's your thought behind that?
My thought is, I mean, a lot of schools might be like, well, we don't want our students to panic and throw out. Well, to be honest, like, I'd rather have them panic and throw it than not have it and they're up there and something actually really bad does happen. Like,
sure.
God forbid a carabiner breaks because of some faulty manufacturing process, and I didn't want to put a reserve on there because I was afraid they'd panic through it.
You got no backup plan whatsoever without.
What about throwing the reserve from like a hang point test
Yeah, we do that.
while you're learning? Okay.
Yeah, we have a simulator, and we put a little reserve on the side, and they can throw it.
Okay, cool.
Thinking maybe schools should put at least a side mount one just to be careful. And you don't put the reserve on the main carabiner, right? You have it hooked up to the harness.
Yeah.
Yes. Most of the time the harness, but sometimes the main carabiners, which obviously it's better to connect to the shoulder harness. You have a second point of failure, but a lot of people connect to the main carabiner.
Interesting. Did anybody see in the super chat how many people actually were talking about, having a reserve or not having a reserve? Or did we just miss all that?
No, I saw, was it Bill? We didn't have a lot of response from that.
Okay.
Let me go back through while you're talking about something else. I'll find it for you.
Okay.
Jerry Fly, he wanted to tell you guys that he had to leave, but he wanted you to know that he's a huge fan of yours, and he's been watching your videos since he started flying, and he wanted to thank you for your service as well. He says, thank you for your service to the country. We wouldn't be able to enjoy this great sport if it wasn't for heroes like you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Mark, for your service. We appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it.
So yeah, Sean, there was.
Okay.
So let's see. Bill H has an Independence 140, and it's a front mount. And John Wayne says he doesn't like a front mount, prefers a side mount. So assuming he has one, and Greg Laney flies with a trike, but he uses it as a reserve as a dash dashboard for his phone. That's kind of clever, I guess. That's kind of a neat. So, Shane Wyman just bought a reserve, haven't installed it yet. James Apco has a Apco Mayday 20, and I think that's what we got out of the tree, but it was an 18. Yeah. So, yeah, Mac Fly Guy's got an Independence Control 140. Yeah. So I think that's about it.
Cool. Yeah, reserve talk is super interesting for some people, but I think after you do SIV and you throw some, like, it actually becomes a lot more interesting. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like, it's fun coming down on a reserve purposefully when you're told to throw it, and then you really get to see how reliable they are, and it's kind of fun.
That's the scariest part for me about a reserve. If I ever had to throw one, was the total not knowing where you're going to come down. If it's not durable, am I going to land in a tree? Am I going to land in the middle of a lake? I mean, that's spooky.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, argument is probably some people would argue that it's best to land in the trees. Obviously, you don't really have much directional control of a round or square at all, and sometimes not even with a regala, depending on the wind. But
if you asked, and I'm only saying this because I happened to sit in on one of Chris Santacroce's classes, and he said this, but if you ask Chris Santacroce what kind of terrain you should be doing fun stuff over, where maybe you're going a little big and you might get yourself into a reserve situation, he'll say over trees.
That makes sense, because Keegan said that he didn't, it was kind of like a cushy, it wasn't like an abrupt stop or anything. It was kind of a cushy, stop. So,
They're more forgiving,
I
think.
Yeah. I mean, of course, they always do SIVs over water. So, but that's if you're coming down by yourself, you absolutely don't want to be going in water.
No.
SIV is such a controlled situation, but I guess if you have the option of having the chase boat and everything, water is going to be more pleasant if somebody can just come up and grab you than going in a tree.
Yeah, I went to Andy's SIV also and threw a reserve, and that was a very interesting experience. And I threw a round, which is why I got the beamer, because it's I went down pretty quick. And if it wasn't in water, if it was on land or something, I'm thinking that I probably would have sprained or hurt myself pretty bad.
I think I got really lucky. I came down so slow on mine. My head didn't even get wet. I just was like a teardrop into the water. And so I felt really lucky that mine was so pleasant. I got out of the boat and I was giddy, and I was that was cool.
Yeah, you were the poster child for SIV.
Yeah, I still like to go watch the videos we made. Sometimes they're fun to go back and watch again.
Yeah, it seems like every time that I get a new wing, I go to SIV course just to see how that wing works. Even though I fly 28-meter wings, all my wings have been 28 meters, they all perform differently. The Roadster 3 performed differently than the Gen Vantage, than the Apco Lift EZ. I mean, they all did weird things differently. When you went and did your SIV, did you use your wing or one of Andy's? Both. Now, when you used your wing, were you able to kind of feel what your wing could do that you never felt like before, as far as motoring or paragliding?
Could you feel it, Mark?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. My Gen Falcon tried to destroy my life. I did a full I was doing full frontals, and some of them went all right, and then one just folded up in a ball and sit me into a sat and a 50% collapse sat. And I was grabbing the reserve, and then everything started to come out and on riser twists, and I let go of the reserve, and I was like, all right, good.
Yeah, coming out of riser twists, that's pretty good. I ended up almost I was in the riser twist, and I'm like, should I try to fix it or should I throw the laundry? I'm like, let's see if we can fix it. After doing an SIV course, did you feel more confident as a pilot, like the first SIV course that you went to? Do you feel like a better pilot, more confident in your gear, your wing, in flying before going to the SIV course?
Yeah, I definitely think so, for sure.
Yeah, I think it instills confidence in your gear, but it also is just, it's one thing to be like, okay, I know what to do if I need to throw a reserve, I know where to reach, and I know that I need to throw into clean air. And then it's a totally other thing when you're flying along and you gotta shake that diaper out and actually toss it. Whereas like, even if you practice that on the ground, it's good because you realize how hard that those can be to actually pop out of their little pouch. But yeah, that's all I have to say to that.
Yeah, I think talking about reserves and the safety aspect of our sport is pretty important also. What other safety gear do you use when you go fly? Are you the type of person that always wear boots, a helmet, ear protection, floats? Mark and Alayna, how do you fly? What is your safety things that you use?
Yeah, I always wear a helmet. Sometimes double hearing protection because I've got tinnitus.
We both do.
No, but I like I'll go fly without shoes on. I mean, if I'm at the beach or something, but definitely flotation over water.
Yeah.
And then always a reserve. Yeah.
So I'll say like kind of like a precaution thing though is like always have a phone and just like some way of like you have an engine out and you get stuck somewhere, just being able to like call somebody or send the location or whatever. So that's an important one because that's something that happens a little bit more often than throwing a reserve. It's just your engine goes out and you got to land in a random field and have somebody come pick you up.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea for people to have like a Garmin in reach or something with them at all times when they're flying too. Because if you were to throw that reserve in the middle of nowhere, Georgia, and your phone has no reception, at least you'd have a Garmin in reach. You could hit a button and there comes an ambulance and a helicopter or something like that. And I just recently got one of those personal locator beacons, and sometimes I'll fly with it.
Is it that Spot that you're talking about? The one that's cellular, that's not cellular, but from satellite?
Yeah. It's I forgot the brand. It's like lime green. You have to unfold it, and an long antenna pops out, and you press a button.
Okay, and that's like a service that you got to pay for yearly or monthly or something?
No,
that's free.
Yeah, as far as I understand. I mean, it was actually a gift to me, so I should probably look into it more. But I had been taking it with me on a couple different paragliding flights. A Garmin in reach. I don't know if you've got to pay for that one or not. I don't have one, but they're good things to have. A little pricey, but not a bad idea.
Gotcha.
Hey, I have a question. You were talking about SIVs, and I sat in Andrew Fuller's SIV little clinic. How he was explaining kind of the process, but to get to a full stall.
What?
I think we're losing you a little bit, Will.
Did I just freeze? I think I just froze.
We can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first SIV is the main purpose, kind of the main goal is to get to a full stall and how to recover it. Is that kind of the purpose of it?
I wouldn't say that necessarily. No. I can't speak for like other SIV instructors, but I think for Andy, he kind of bases it case by case. Like he looks at where the pilot's at and what they need to focus on first before they progress to that. I mean, I did them pretty quickly. I don't know, maybe that's a question for instructor, but that's something we both did in SIV. And I think that was like one of the biggest things I learned from there. I mean, we did all kinds of stuff, all kinds of like collapses and spirals and stuff, but the stalls, there's like, those are like really eye-opening.
That's one reason I didn't want to take an SIV, because I'm pretty much afraid of stalling the wing. But the way he had explained it is, it seems like a stall is like a reset, you know, to a lot of maneuvers or to a lot of times when things go wrong. But he was explaining how, you know, no, we'll do like B stalls. I mean, we kind of, there's a progression to it. It's not like, okay, full stall, you know, which is what I was thinking it was going to be. So I guess the SIV can be done in stages, and not all at once, you know, like 0 to 100 in like, you know, your first lesson. So I'm considering doing that again. I mean, whereas before it's like, no, that's not going to be.
Well, real quick, when I went to the SIV course, a guy went there just to learn big ears. He didn't care about stalling. He didn't care about spirals or barrels or nothing. You know, he just wanted to know how to do big ears. So his entire weekend was learning big ears. That was it. When I went there, it's like, you know, I said, I want to feel what it feels like to have collapsed wings, because one of the things that scared the crap out of me when I first started was hearing about wingtip collapses and stuff like that. So I'm thinking, oh, wingtip collapse, oh, I'm going to follow this guy. You know, when you do a 50% collapse and you're still flying straight, it's like, well, what was I afraid of? So you can actually go to an SIV course and say, hey, this is what I would like to learn. This is what I like to feel. It's totally up to you. Mark and Elena, when you went there, did you ask, you know, to learn certain things, or you just went through Andy's program?
I think it was a little bit of both. I mean, I think I did way more than I thought I was going to do. I was like pretty surprised. I mean, I guess I shouldn't have been surprised. I didn't really have any like expectations for how much I was going to do, but I did not think I was going to do sats and stalls. And I ended up loving doing those. So it's funny. I went in, I had like some fear going into it. I definitely was very scared to do stalls, but then once I got into them, I actually enjoyed them and see the benefit in doing them, because like it can be a life-saving maneuver if you know how to do it to get yourself, like you said, it's like resetting your wing, right? If you get yourself in some trouble, you can reset your wing. And sats were a blast to me, and I didn't think I was going to get to do those. What about you, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, I just
about the same.
Catered it to how we were progressing, and I was just like, yeah, I want to do whatever.
Yeah, he asked us what we wanted to do. We're both not the type of people that are like, man, I want to do this and this and this. We're just kind of like, hey, we're here to learn from you. So, you know, whatever you think. And I really think Andy has this really good way of going with his gut and kind of seeing what that pilot is capable of and what they are willing to do, and maybe pushing them a little bit out of their comfort zone, but not past what they're capable of.
Yeah. I think JP has to go. You're on mute.
Go, JP. Go.
Always a pleasure, guys. Mark and Alayna, thank you so much. Freaking love you guys.
It's like,
Yeah, man, good to see you.
Yeah.
Thanks for all the great content over the years and sharing your lives with us and everything. It's just fantastic. I think two great, fantastic people like sharing their lives with the paramotor community. I think you know, a lot of people can look up to everything you're doing, because I think you guys got it figured out.
all right.
Thanks,
It's
man.
awesome.
Thanks
So
yeah, thanks for saying that. That's nice.
I mean it. So
I think
all right,
you're
guys.
awesome.
You're a peach.
Well, don't forget, JP is the president of the fan.
Ah, yes, of the
Of the
fan club.
Of TikTok too,
That's
though.
right.
Good night, man.
All right, guys, take it easy.
All right,
Okay.
JP.
Like,
Well, it is 8 o'clock, or a little bit after 8 o'clock. We've been doing this for an hour. How much longer do we have, you, Mark and Alayna? Are you willing to hang with us for another 30 minutes or an hour? Or you got to go. I just want to make sure that we don't hold you up from anything.
Yeah, we can.
Hey,
hang
no
out.
pressure.
No.
No.
I mean, we talked about SIV for the whole 45 minutes, so.
Well, we got another question about the SIVs. Do you think that an SIV clinic should be mandatory before someone becomes a USPPA instructor for paramotors? And that's from, I believe it was James, someone, I'm not sure.
I mean, that would be interesting. I don't think that's a bad idea.
I don't at all think it's a bad idea, especially because, I mean, there's some people who are like, they flew for years before they became instructors. So they got a lot of hours and experience. And then there is some people that like super early on become instructors. I mean, I don't think I'm the person to say it should be mandatory, but I do think it would absolutely benefit any instructor to have an SIV under their belt. Just to even be able to, I mean, like describe what it feels like to do a full stall or like,
Yeah.
And maybe they've done them on their own too. I mean, I don't know. I definitely think it would be beneficial though to instructors to have that. Yeah.
Yeah, if you ask what gamer tag, he's gonna say yes to that. I think I've actually had that conversation with him, and he's like, "Yeah, I think every instructor."
Yeah.
Actually, we got, it looks like Brook said that he doesn't think it should be mandatory. He had done his for the great experience, but not necessarily to teach PPG 1 and 2. So exactly what you said.
I mean, like you said, that dude went to go do big ears only. I mean, you could be almost being an instructor. You go to SIV and all you do is big ears, and then you become an instructor. So now you have your SIV qualification, if that were even a thing for USPPA, and really all you do years. So I mean, it just depends, like what you, I don't think it's necessary either, but it's definitely helpful in terms of being able to describe things.
I mean, it just gives you another layer of knowledge to impart.
It's not our job. It's not a USPPA jobs instructors to be teaching SIV level type stuff, but it's good to have that knowledge because students are going to ask about stuff like that.
Here's what I think it's helpful with too. Sometimes it's important to describe things. I think whenever you've been a pilot for a few years and then you're trying to teach somebody that's brand new how to do it, you forget the things that weren't obvious to you in the beginning. And it's like, you forget that you have to harp on these little things of like safety. And I mean, it's like the littlest things of even like, you know, this is how you lay your risers down or whatever.
The fundamentals.
Yeah, the fundamentals. So I think doing things like SIV courses.
How do you even get Greer out of ground?
Get what?
Get what, Will?
What?
What are you saying?
All right, I do have something to say. There, SIV doesn't make you any more qualified to be an instructor because you could just be really crappy at being an instructor in general. You could be a great pilot, but suck at getting the message across. So no, I don't think SIV is necessary. I mean, you've got obese basketball coaches that can't play basketball, but they're teaching basketball. But you know what I mean? Like it's helpful, but no, it's not necessary.
Yeah, I think it's just something good under your belt to say, hey, you know, this is what could happen. An SIV would be great maybe in 6 months or a year after, you know, graduating or something like that.
Yeah.
That I agree with. I think you can do an SIV too soon.
Yes.
I think if you went to an SIV like 15 flights in, that would be horrible. I mean, the towing part of it would be super difficult for you at that point because I mean, the kiting is important when you're being towed up. It's not like thoughtless to be towed up in an SIV. You kind of got to like be on it and make sure you're staying in a certain spot in reference to the boat and everything. And so somebody brand new might really struggle with that launch being towed up. And yeah, I mean, there's things, I work at the airport and there's certain things that like, we don't teach them people like right away working out on the ramp because you don't want to overload them with things that just comes later. There's a progression to it. So I think you can do SIV too soon.
I agree. We had some wind one day where if your kiting skills was not on par, you had to do reverse. You have to turn around, and that's being connected to the towboat. And tell me, Mark and Elena, when you were being towed up there, you had to use some power on your arms to make sure that you stayed where you were. So it was almost like you were exhausted by the time that you got up to 4,000 feet. It's like, oh my God, I pinned off and now I'm sore because, I'm trying to stay to this one side or something like that. At least that's the way I felt, but I'm an old grandpa.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of weird. It's definitely a weird feeling.
Yeah, I think I was more like mentally strained. I wanted to like do everything perfectly. So yeah, I think I was so focused on doing the toe perfectly that by the time you get to pull off, you're like, whew.
Yep.
Absolutely. Was there any questions in the on the panel or the chat?
Just briefly, Tony Marzano wanted to know if Brook Sheffield was single. He says he's asking for a friend. Just throwing that out there.
Brook
But-
single.
Brook single. There you go, Tony.
All right, there we go.
Tony, I'm
Question.
gonna say, Tony, you're a dork.
Question
I
for
take tandems.
question for Mark and or
Good
Elaine.
money.
What? Are we still on the Brook thing?
Brooke said, I think
I didn't
It
realize that
never
this was
ends.
a paramotor love connection, but apparently it is.
Tender.
Yeah,
It never ends.
$20 is $20.
Yeah, that's right, man. That's what they say. Hey, Mark and Alayna, what is left on like the biggest thing left to do on your bucket list thus far?
Are we talking about paramotoring?
Yeah, paramotor.
Oh man, we've got some secret stuff coming up for sure.
Uh-oh.
It's so big that actually no one's ever done anything.
Secret.
You're not going to McDonald's, are you, man?
Oh,
I heard that's never been done before.
this will blow it out of the water, but
Golden
I'm also
Corral.
not Tucker God's channel, so it might not be that big of a video, but it's a bigger thing for sure.
So no hints?
No hints.
No hints.
But it is
horrible. They're like,
paramotor.
what are you gonna do? And we're like, something huge, but we can't tell you at all. But it's gonna be awesome, but we can't tell you anything about it.
But it is paramotor related.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You'll see it one day.
All right, well, what, if it's
Tucker
on your
Schmucker.
bucket list, what's the biggest thing on your bucket list that you can tell us about?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
yeah, really. Yeah.
Because you've
sounds
done a
like-
lot, man. So I mean,
Yeah.
Good
Well, I
question,
mean,
Will.
there's so many countries to go to. That's one thing.
I
But
think we'd like to go back to Korea sometime.
let's think of some bucket list stuff. I mean, we did stuff in Korea.
Yeah, we did a lot in Korea.
I don't.
you going to Egypt?
Rub it in. Jeez.
I know, right?
We did a lot of Korea.
That's funny.
Korea was awesome. We still like just sit around and sometimes talk about like how cool what an amazing experience it was, and how like we would go back in a heartbeat. It was really cool there. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's so many things we've talked about doing. Like everybody talks about, somebody mentioned like Egypt, and I don't know. There's so many cool places you can go fly. I wish we could fly at all the cool places.
I think my bucket list would be, one reason I'm working towards this trike and like pinching pennies to get there is because I'd like to do something similar to what Project Airtime does, where they're able to give free tandems to people who are disabled or people that aren't able to fly in some kind of way, or maybe they are able to fly, but you give them their first tandem for free. So that way one day we can figure out a
Awesome.
way to get you into the sky. Like I love what Chris Santacroce does with, I'm
Oh,
wearing a shirt, Project Airtime. So that would be really cool to do that. That's a big bucket list of mine that I think I've been thinking about for years.
We're big Chris Santacroce fans, if you haven't noticed.
yeah. Why would you be? I mean,
Yeah,
dude's awesome.
Yeah.
he's a good dude.
So what are some of your favorite places to fly?
I think where we live is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Around here it's really great to fly. Moonshiners is killer flying too, though. Like Moonshiners flying has really pretty flying. Utah, love Utah. Every time, yeah, Utah is super cool. That's great for free flight because they don't have trees. Not a lot of trees, at least.
Yeah. Well, and there's just so many different places in this world that would be like way crazier than anything we've done. We just haven't had a chance yet.
Yeah, somebody in the chat said
Iceland.
something about Ireland, or did they say Iceland?
Iceland, which
No, he
Oh,
said
Iceland.
I
Ireland would be epic.
totally go to Ireland,
Oh yeah, for sure.
but Iceland too. Yeah.
What about your
Yeah.
most epic flight? Like that just mind-blowing location? Where would that have been?
Oh man,
Biltmore.
that was pretty good. That was a fun.
Biltmore was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome. We almost didn't even do it.
It
Where?
was cold that morning, I think.
The Biltmore Estate in North Carolina.
Yeah, that was like right before
Yeah, that was
Mark
awesome.
got sent to Korea. He was like about to leave for Korea, and we were like, we're
Yes.
gonna do this flight. We got to do it now. So yeah, we squeaked that one in right before he got sent to Korea.
Yeah, highly recommend that flight. As long as you're not like flying right over.
Did you have to get some special anything for that?
No, this it's pretty close to Asheville Airport, so but you're under the
Yeah.
shelf there, so you just got to keep that in mind. But no, nothing
Okay.
special, but because it is they have huge influence in this area. Biltmore owns a large
Everything.
of the land, are very wealthy. Like you don't want to do anything to make them mad, or else it could ruin some stuff.
Right.
Yeah, man, you just take off, what is it, runway 34 and just head straight.
Yeah, right.
I'd say somebody asked though, like, what's one of the most like mind-blowing ones?
Yeah.
Flying through Charlotte's airspace was so cool. It was one of the coolest things. It's not even that it was like the prettiest flight in the world, but it was like a huge international airport that we got to buzz the runway twice. That was so cool. Yeah, Todd's in the chat. That one of our most epic flights is with Todd.
Yeah, I mean, to be on a runway that's 2 miles long, and it, you know how slow we go, and it takes forever to get down.
To
the
like
runway.
15 minutes to go, and we got to do it twice, so we were just like buzzing a huge airport for 30 minutes. It was so cool.
And the white strip, the like white lines down the middle of the runway when you're landing in an airliner look pretty small, but when you're on a paramotor, they're literally like
It's freaking huge.
twice as wide as
Yeah.
you or more. I don't know.
There's like
What the size of a the size of a freaking runway, each white strip.
A bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like when we were coming in, there's a couple runways that run parallel to this outermost one that we were able to fly on. We were coming in and there's like a 737 just on approach right next to us. Like it's just it's really cool. That was a really cool flight.
Yeah, if y'all have a friend in ATC at the Class Bravo airport who can coordinate with the city, the airport, and who else did I don't know. He coordinated with like 3 different organizations to make it happen legally. Then definitely do it.
I would like to do it. I work at Asheville Airport for United, and I would really like to one day like figure out who I got to talk to be able to buzz the airport that I work at.
Oh, that'd be so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I got a name for you, Elena. Bob Carter. Bob Carter in the tower.
In the tower at Asheville?
Yeah.
Good to know. I'm gonna write his name
Wife
down.
was my that was my very first. I was her very first student, and she was my first flight instructor, Cindy Carter. She still instructs there, I think.
Wow.
And in case you didn't know, Will Fly actually has his GA, so he actually flies airplanes and paramotors.
Cool.
Cool.
Wait, that was your first, Will? Are they're still living?
When I was going for my private, yeah. She was
Okay, good.
first instructor.
Nice. Yeah. And you also know John Faydock at Hendersonville Airport.
Yeah, and you notice I didn't ask if you said hello this time. Did you notice that, man? I didn't want to put you on the spot.
I can't remember if I've told him or not. I don't know.
Probably not.
I don't see him as much at all, really.
Yeah, that's a great area to fly. It's just beautiful.
Yeah. Especially
But hey, that's on my bucket list, to fly around in a paramotor around, Hendersonville, Asheville, never
Yeah.
done that.
come on over. I mean, you're not that far.
Not at all. Definitely.
Yeah.
Is a Icarus race on your bucket list?
Yeah, I was just talking to I think Judson at Bad Apples about that. I don't think they're doing one this year, but I mean, I don't think they've done one since like a long time. I'd like to do that for sure. And I think, yeah, I would do it.
That's on my bucket list too.
I'd fly across the country. I want to do that too. I want to do a lot of stuff that that requires money.
Yeah, well, I mean, get up with Harley Milne.
Yeah, Harley and some money.
Yeah, he does the 50X. He's flown in every single state, including Canada including Alaska. Did I say that? Yeah, Alaska and
Hawaii.
Yeah.
Hawaii.
Yeah, when he was doing his flight across the country, when we were still living in Louisiana, because Mark was still in the military, and he wanted us to meet up with him, but we actually were able to surprise him. What did we do? We drove to we flew all the way.
Yeah, you met him out in the middle of somewhere.
I can't remember where we launched from, but we didn't launch from where he landed, did we?
Yeah.
We launched from
unplanned.
Yeah.
We launched somewhere nearby, and then he pulled up, it was like perfect timing. Like we were there, and then he pulled up in the sky, and I think he was really, really surprised. He didn't think he was going to see us in the sky, but it was
He was
cool.
just tired and ready to land.
Yeah, but we went and ate.
Before I think 30 minutes after sunset, he's trying to be legal, so he had to get on the ground.
But yeah,
I think that was the first video of yours I watched.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
That was cool.
I have a question about the apps that you use. What kind of apps do you use to check weather? And do you use any particular apps as you're flying to keep track of your flights?
I generally don't keep track of my flights unless I'm free flying. And for that, I would use like my Flymaster, or I would use like Live Tracker. And then mostly when I fly paramotor, I'm pulling up Avair because I have an Android, so I don't have a good app. So I use Avair for determining airspace and altitude and speed. And then for Elena, she'd use Fly Sky High. And then for weather, I primarily use Windy. And sometimes I'll look at the local METARs at the airports nearby. And then
What's that one website that's like a man's name? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Ryan Carlton.
Yeah.
And then
the balloonist.
And Brooke showed me iKite Surf, which is pretty cool too.
Yeah, I use Ryan Carlton all the time.
I haven't heard the what.
iKite Surf.
iKite Surf?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hot Buttered Productions said they use Bumble.
They use Tinder.
Bumble while in flight.
Hey, I mean, if you're gonna land at your honey's site, you know.
So yeah, that's a good question for all the people in the super chat. Do you use apps to fly as far as your weather and also keeping track of when you fly? I use the Skyfly High mostly because it'll automatically go over to Live Track 24 for me, so I can keep track that way. And Windy and Ventusky are my two wind apps that I use pretty much all the time. How about you guys on the panel real quick? What do you guys use? Brooke, do you use any apps?
I use for the winds a lot.
I just use what Mark said.
And Jim, I didn't hear what you said, bud.
I use PPG Zone for the winds aloft. I really like it because you can select each hour that you want that's going in advance, and then it's got direction. It's got like an arrow as a direction of the wind, as opposed to the degrees. So it's really easy visual reference, and then it's got the inversions as well. So
That's right. PPG Zone has one that's very similar to Windy, but it's a little bit more advanced. I forgot about that. Thanks for reminding me.
I can't figure out how to make my Windy one, the winds aloft, work.
You need to hard click.
Oh.
Yeah, hard click on, if you're on your phone, hold down your thumb, hit show weather picker, and then on the right, you have to go to the menu and you can scroll to all the way up to 45,000 feet.
Roll, okay.
Yep. So
So it's like a hard press and then that thing will pop up.
I thought you said
Is
heart
it will.
click. So
Yeah.
because of
Okay.
that, there was those little hearts on there. I'm like, okay, I'll try that.
So the hard press opens up in a different menu.
Like-
Yeah.
look at all
Okay.
these hearts.
Yeah. The hard press. And I don't know if you want to hard press on a heart, maybe just on like a blank spot, hard press and release, and then it'll show up the weather picker.
I think I flew everywhere in South Korea.
Why is he laughing so hard?
No, I'm not.
Am I saying something funny?
I don't know.
No. Good night.
Spotlight.
You gotta
what
know,
does that
Dave.
mean?
Means
Yeah,
release.
yeah. Show that again real quick because DP was laughing and we couldn't see it.
Was there something private on my phone?
He's still laughing.
Oh yeah, man, that was a cool picture, Mark.
I'm afraid to show it now.
Doesn't take much to get DP laughing.
No, it doesn't.
I still don't know why he's laughing though.
I don't know.
Oh, well, but since he's not going to tell us, I got one more good app. It's called, I think I pay for it and I use it mostly for free flying, but it's called XC Skies. It's really good for if you guys start thermaling midday or whatever.
Cool. Hey, there was one that you mentioned just before my battery died on my laptop. It was kite. What was it? I kite
Surf. I kite surf.
surf. I'm going to check that one out.
Yeah. Brook
Another one that I just found too is called PPG Flyer, and it's a really good one. It's free and it's very similar to the Skyfly High.
Cool. Yeah. I think I used to use that now.
It was kind of a quick show there, Sean.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So, it was like, you
Oh,
He'd
want
have
us
to
to know
charge
about
you if
it
he
or
showed
not?
it more.
All right. It is 8:30. So how about we do 30 more minutes, but we do an after show where we can bring on anybody in the super chat that wants to jump on the panel. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay, pal.
What's that?
I said okie dokie, pal.
Okie dokie. All right. So I'm going to enable the waiting room. And while I find the meeting ID and passcode, was there any other questions in the chat or on the panel for Mark and Alayna?
There's a really nice question here by Alex. Interesting question. Do you guys fly or do you find yourself flying for YouTube videos, or do you fly for fun mostly and happen to make YouTube?
Both. I'd say too, though, sometimes when we set out to like actually make a YouTube video, they end up being so much fun. Like the popcorn video where we once threw like this huge bag of popcorn. I thought it was silly. Mark kept this nasty stale popcorn for like a year.
I actually had the army, some Korean gave it to me, and
These Koreans gave us this huge bag. It was huge.
and I put it in the I think it got shipped back on a plane or however they ship our stuff back in some kind of a crate, and popcorn made it all the way back to Louisiana. I think it was like a year and a half later I threw that popcorn from a paramotor.
How many kernels? How many kernels did you eat, Elena?
None.
There was, I think some landed in her wing, with like opened up her wing like a few months ago, and there was popcorn in
Popcorn
there.
in
So
it.
that would make it like 3-year-old popcorn.
I tried to get Mark to throw it away so many times. Mark was like, no, I'm going to make a video with this. I'm like, you've had it for over a year. It's nasty, stale popcorn. Throw it away.
Yeah.
And then when we finally did it, it was so funny. It was really, that was fun.
I love it.
Now I
That's
have-
a cool story. I love that.
And now I have some more expired popcorn. I told her not to throw it away because I want to throw it in a thermal and see if it'll like ride up with me.
This is way
Oh, that would be cool. I didn't even think about something like that.
Yeah, that is a good idea.
I know like lightweight stuff does. Like when I'm thermaling and I see like a feather or a leaf like in front of me, I'm like, I might be hitting a thermal soon. Or like if I smell cow poop at like 5,000 feet, I'm like, that thermal was established right down there at that cow pasture. It's like, so I wonder if popcorn would climb with me.
That's great.
Might be too heavy.
I think if I saw leaves going past me, I'd be wanting to get out of the air really fast.
Yeah, right. You're like, why are these going up and I'm going down?
Exactly. A dirt devil.
I don't know.
Pretty good indicator.
Have you ever flown and looked up at your lines and all you see is spider webs?
Yeah,
Yes.
a bunch of Charlotte Web babies.
Yes.
Yeah, that's like from the movie. I think I actually put in my video one time, I mentioned that.
Oh, it's
And
so
then
funny.
I took a clip from Charlotte's Web where like they all go off onto their journey into the sky.
But what's the pig's name?
Charlotte?
No.
Wilbur.
No.
Wilbur.
He's
Wilbur?
like, where are you guys going? And they're like flying away, and Mark put a caption and was like, we're going to fly into Mark's wing.
I don't
That's
know.
good.
I wish I could remember what video it was too. It was so funny.
That was my favorite book growing up.
Yep.
What?
It was. Yeah. I think it's one of the first books I read
It's a good
all the
one.
way through, you know.
Great movie because I don't read much.
Same.
Hey, man, that's okay. Don't you worry about it now, Bo.
And I can never remember if I can never remember, is it Babe or Wilbur, right?
Oh, I like Babe
I
too.
love Babe too, yeah.
That'll do.
Ram you.
That'll do, Piggy. That will do.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I can't believe she just ram you.
We got
Oh,
another
what?
question. We got another question here from James. He's wondering whether you ever see yourself flying helicopters again for a living.
Yeah, I should be flying one soon. Our one of our local paramotor friends just bought a helicopter, so and he's learning.
Why are you laughing?
He does that to everyone. Don't take it personal.
He's laughing because it's ridiculous that someone bought a helicopter. They're so expensive.
He's just a very happy guy, which is awesome. That's
Nah,
right.
he's very
I know.
positive, very happy.
Yeah, when he laughs, then I start laughing. I don't even know what he's laughing at, but he's laughing. I'm like,
Stop
oh,
on
this
you.
is so funny. So I
God,
start
it was the whole my ram you thing, okay? Sorry.
he reminds me of Richard, one of our local pilots, Richard, actually. But yeah, so our buddy Bill bought a helicopter. He's getting helicopter training, and so he wants me to fly in his helicopter with him. And said if I wanted to be a flight instructor, that he'd actually let me use his helicopter. So you never know.
There you go. That works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are officially in the after show, ladies and gentlemen. So if you want to jump on and just hang with us and talk with Mark and Alayna Huneycutt and the rest of us in real life, not through a chat, you're more than welcome to join us. Also, if you'd like some of these wonderful stickers that we got from carepp.com, which is Jim's company, just let me know. You can contact me by texting me on my cell phone, 501-747-3558, to say, hey, this is whoever you are, and I'd like some free stickers. And if you already won some or asked for some over the last couple of weeks, sorry, I didn't have any, but I have some now, and I will send them out very, very soon. So please text me and let me know. I'll put that in the chat real quick. John Wayne's in the house. What's up, bud?
Hey, John Wayne.
What's up, cowboy?
Man, he is the only person I know that can withstand 90-degree temperatures wearing a freaking long sleeve thermals on one of them fleece, whatever it is, shirts. It's a tough man.
Tough he is. He's a tough cowboy.
John Wayne.
John Wayne, the real John Wayne.
Todd asked for
deal.
Red apples, but he knows. I bought the Flat Products rider with the factory R.
Todd missed the part of the show where we told everybody that because he doesn't care about us.
Yeah.
So I thought you test flew the factory art.
Yeah, on a limitless from Aviator PPG.
Oh, okay. So how was the Limitless? What was it like to fly?
I thought it was fine. I mean, I think the fit and finish looks really good. It looks like a good paramotor. It's really customizable. Like you can literally like make the swing arms go up or down from where they connect. You can widen them. You can bring one out further one way or the other. I don't know a ton about it. Maybe they even have more customization that like if you call, you can do certain things because the company they're working with has really helped them customize things. But in flight, I mean, it was fine. I mean, I'm used to a fly that has like stellar torque compensation. So it was
different motors.
What's up?
Different motors. Isn't that the one that could like you could put different motors on it without much trouble at all?
I'm not sure. I didn't ask him about that. I just flew the factory R on it, which had a lot of power.
Up to the 303.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's right. We had we last was it last episode we checked to see, or we asked how many people we think was going to be over at Bad Apples. We had that little contest going. So how many people actually made it to Bad Apples? What's the official count? And does anybody have that list that we did last week?
I do.
Oh my goodness.
I do. I saved it with Dave Wolf.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep, I've got it because I'm annoyed. Hang on.
Can't go over.
Shut up, Will.
Yeah, so what we did last week, in case you didn't join us, what we did is we guessed at how many official pilots were registered or going to be registered at Bad Apples. And whoever won gets to win some free stickers.
Forgot about that. That's right.
Way more
Yeah,
than
they-
301. Gotta be.
That's great.
Well, Todd would know.
So while DP is
Yeah,
finding
sure.
that out, we will continue chatting a little bit. So we got a couple of people that jumped in. John Wayne, Riverford Cassidy, Austin jumped on. You guys have any questions for Mark and Alayna? Or just hanging out with us?
Hanging out.
All right, good deal. The more the merrier.
Although I can't say I do really enjoy Mark's videos. It's pretty good entertainment.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man.
I really enjoyed the one where you're trying to launch from, what is that, your front yard or side
The
yard?
driveway video, that one was gnarly.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, man. You had me worried.
Yeah, that was fun. I just actually I tore 2 of my gliders doing that, so it was definitely.
Oh my gosh.
It was a costly event, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, I knew you tore one. I didn't know you tore 2 of them.
Really?
Yes, my successful flights from there were all, I think, both on the Buzz Z5. And that one I tore, I think it hit a bush and like just tore the leading edge, and I didn't even realize it. I might have even launched successfully with it like that. It's just such a tight spot. Like, it's just, it's just not worth it. Like, it's a super gimmicky spot because it's tough to fly from. You have to have strong winds so you can like bring up the wing and take off in 2 steps. And then you're putting your wing in a dead spot, so it's hard to inflate it even when there are strong winds. And then yeah, it's tight. So I grabbed a stump that I didn't even know was there.
So have you ever launched from there on the first try?
No, I don't think so. No.
Yeah.
Well, when I first try, as in like first inflation, no. Yeah.
I guess conditions have to be like perfect, you know, and some luck on your side too.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, trying to inflate a wing on a hill on a like, I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, it's just it's tough.
A wing and a prayer.
It's about to lay out my wing.
I do have a question real quick. If since you have so many different wings and you've been flying for so long, If you were happen to land in a tree or something like that, would you go through and try to look at the wing yourself, or would you send it in to a professional to have your wing checked?
Well,
And
coming from someone who has professionally landed in a couple trees, I don't think I inspected either one, and I flew them, and yeah, without inspection ever, and they were both fine. I just personally inspected it myself, and never had any issues.
That's good.
But it's not a bad. It depends on if you like were to come down hard and like on his reserve toss or something, but. At that point he had already busted lines anyways, but yeah, I mean, it's not a bad idea to send it in for an inspection.
Do you regularly send in your wing for inspection, or do you inspect them yourself?
I would send it in, the standard time frame it says on the wing, like 2 years or 100 hours or whatever. Depends on if you leave it in the sun more than other wings, I guess.
And real quick, if you are in the super chat and you do fly paramotors, how often do you send out your wing? Do you do what the manufacturer says? Do you inspect it yourself? Let me know in the super chat. Thank you. The DP, did you get that taken care of? You figured it out yet, or are you still looking?
Well, I sure did, Sean. What do you want to know here? I got all kinds of numbers here from all the people.
First of all, what is the official number of registered pilots from Bad Apples? Does anybody know? 301?
304. I heard 301. 304.
I heard 301.
I heard 350, but I don't know.
301, I'm sure.
Well, then I didn't win. 350?
No.
I heard 350. I heard 301. I heard all sorts of numbers. Anybody know the
Lots of
official?
lies. Lots of lies. No, I have nothing official.
Why doesn't David say something? He's in the chat.
Who? David Wolf.
301 was announced by David.
Yeah, come on,
Oh,
Wolfie.
301. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I was 450 and Dave Wolf happened to be 451. How strange is that? Anyway.
Okay. Wow. I just looked at the super chat. Everybody's saying 301. Okay. Well, shoot. I guess I should have looked at the super chat before asking everyone. Okay. So the official is 301. David Wolf just said officially 301.
Okay. So from that night, then that means John Wayne wins with 250 because the next lowest one is 350 from you, Sean.
No, 280, I guess. 209.
How many total?
301 was the total. My guess was 289.
301 was the total.
Yeah.
Yeah, 301 was the official count at Bad Apples. Said.
Yep. So Will had 289. Sean had 350. Yeah, that's the next closest.
What did
Will had 289 and Sean had 350. So
I guess I was expecting more.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of guys who didn't register, I bet.
Probably.
Well,
so screw this.
Well, I mean, I guess it's just a fun thing that we just did, and we're looking at the official registered pilots.
Sorry.
Wow. I don't know
You
what
gotta
Will was.
slow down that Dairy Queen drive-through.
Yeah, that was. I think he's on his. Are you on your Segway? Because that thing is really hauling some butt, dude.
It's starting to rain, and when that happens, I haul some butt.
You got that new 9-bot or something there, man?
Oh yeah, that's something that I need to ask Mark and Alayna. Do you guys have any personal wheeled things that you like the 9-bots or electric bikes, maybe one wheels, or what do you guys have as far as like a personal
bicycles,
electric thingy?
We would love to have all those toys. We just
Don't even start, Mark. Tell them the truth.
Every time we're at the training field with Brook, I'm always stealing Brook's one wheel. He brings it and sets it out, and then I step on it and use it.
The
No,
There
we
you
have
go.
all
David
in the
David
world.
Wolf in the chat said, more importantly, what was the grand total raise for Resurgence PPG?
Amen.
Someone
And I
said
kind of know the answer to that.
And I do not know, but
I want to say it was $30,000, somewhere thereabouts.
holy smokes.
Tell me about it. It's
Bill,
incredible.
back your camera up. I don't want to see your lips like that.
We know that your teeth are white. Thank you very much.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah, I tasted it.
$1,000 is what I heard. Dave in the chat would have the exact number, but it was an enormous amount.
Okay. Yeah. Darren Locklear said 30,000. If that's, oh, and James also said 30,000. That is incredible.
I would say.
And it couldn't go to a better cause.
I totally agree.
That's right.
Totally agree.
Right.
Hey, look at how many people we have here right now. Let's do another thumbnail real quick since we have so many people. Is that all right?
Oh, gosh.
Let's
Oh,
do one more
gosh.
thumbnail. Keep your glasses on. It's all right.
No, I always take them off for pictures.
Let me see if I can remember this.
Hey,
I
where's
think
my
it's,
cowboy hat?
I think it's
I know. I know.
Command Shift 3, right?
4.
4 is to do what we want. 3 is to just take the shot, right?
3 does the whole screen. 4
Yeah,
you
I'll-
can select.
Yeah, I can.
Can you do it?
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, cheese. Wait a minute. Did it
One
work?
more?
Yeah, it did work. Okay, I got it.
You get
That
it?
was the best one from Mark. Did you see what Mark did? That was incredible.
He's so silly. I love him.
Mark,
God.
you're so silly.
Thumbnail pictures are like so like stressful, you know? I mean, 'cause you go,
Stressful.
okay, let's do thumbnail. And then I get like, oh my God. Okay, hold on. Okay, I got to put my makeup on. Hold on. I'll be right back.
I got a question for Mark and Elena.
All right.
Have you all been to Buc-ee's yet?
No, I've never been to one.
Dude, look at all these pumps.
Whoa.
It
What
is
do
a
we-
huge freaking store. They're coming our way, but
Let's see it again
look
real
at the
quick.
oh wait.
Yeah.
Hey man, they got circus peanuts.
Holy
Dude,
smokes.
We're all walking with you.
I've
Like
never-
over 200 pumps.
That's crazy.
Never seen anything like that before, dude.
I haven't either. This is the first day this one is open.
I want to
Oh,
go
are
put
you
some
in-
gas there.
Are you in South Carolina?
Yeah, South Carolina now.
That's
I'm
a
on
brand
the
new
back.
one in Florence.
Yes. Yes.
Passed right by it like a week or two ago, and I wanted to go so bad, but it wasn't open yet.
Yeah, me too. I pulled off the interstate and everything, and it said closed. And like,
And everything.
and everything. Was that funny, Dave?
It was. I pulled off the interstate and everything.
Did everything.
Whatever else you could add to pulling off the interstate, I did it. Holy mackerel! Look at that.
He's looking.
No,
he's
that
looking
is
for the
everything.
ice cream right now, man. He's going for the ice cream.
He's going for a
Dude, look
blizzard.
at all those. Look at all those ceiling lights in there.
Yeah,
hope
he's
Look at his
going for
ear.
everything.
Well, man, I tell you, this has been a really, really fun, entertaining podcast. I've really enjoyed this a lot. Mark and Elena, you guys are so adorable, sweet, humble.
They are.
You guys are
Love 'em.
amazing, and I thank you guys so much for jumping on and sharing your time with us.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good time.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. It's always good to see you guys. I saw you guys last year at Bad Apples, so it's been a long time since we actually hung out. We need to hang out even more.
Shiners.
Yeah, Moonshiners. Yeah, Moonshiners is coming up.
Yeah.
So might have to do that since I miss Bad Apples. Cannot believe I missed Bad Apples.
I think it's definitely Moonshiners for me.
I'm
Absolutely.
planning on going to Moonshiners.
Yeah.
Gosh, didn't Moonshiner suck though last year?
No way.
Weather?
The wind was weird, but the company was amazing.
Yeah,
The
but the winds
flying
were
was
just
awesome in the clouds.
effed up.
The wind over there is always so gnarly.
Yeah, just pick a direction.
But to have that freaking stream right there, right next to the field as a diversion or something to do during the day, it's awesome.
Like landing in it?
Good trout fishing in Rome Creek.
Like landing in it, Will?
Yeah.
Like setting up a tent or a canopy and just putting your chair in there and sitting around in a circle and just kind of chilling. I really did like that.
Just really, I had a blast there too.
Yeah, you can do that at our training field. You can there's a creek right there. You can get in there when it gets too hot while you're kiting.
Right.
The training field, is it a big enough training field that maybe you could hold like your very own fly-in?
Oh yeah, it'd be perfect for that. The problem is it's a private sod farm, so I doubt he would allow it. But he does want to get trained to fly, the owner. So you never know. He might change his opinion on that. But it's still like a private place we don't tell people about unless they like hit us up and we get them to do the proper chain of events.
I gotcha.
So 259 is how many pumps there are.
Oh,
jeez.
Thank you, Will. I can go to sleep now.
Well, he got his 10,000 steps in.
Yeah, man. I can't wait till they come, to North Carolina.
Good job, Dad. Love y'all.
See you.
Thanks for laughing at us all night.
Yeah.
He put himself on mute so we can't hear him
Mute. I'm good.
On your
I love you guys. Seriously.
Yeah.
And it's good to see you, DP. It's been a while.
Thank you. I'm going to see you all at the next fly-in. Damn it all.
Absolutely. And I saw your post on Facebook. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love going under the knife. It's so nice. All right. Love you.
Any other questions before we call this a night? Any questions in the super chat? Any questions or anything on the panel? Flying Flamingo Jade, good to see you, girl.
Thank you. Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Hi.
Bye, Will. Oh, I thought you were leaving. Are you leaving?
No, I was waving to Jade.
Oh, okay.
We couldn't really see the direction you were waving at him. Sorry. Well, Mark and Elena, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for your time. You guys are awesome. The cutest couples flying I've ever seen.
Ever.
Can't wait to see you at Moonshiners. And where else do we save? Dave Purdon's and EFD. I'm going to try to make it to at least one of these coming up. So appreciate you all for jumping on and hanging out with us. John Wayne for jumping on, and Austin, Riverfoot Cassidy, thank you guys for jumping on and hanging out with us. Flying Flamingo Jade, Brook, Paramotor USA, living at Anderson, thank you for being with us and being our cheerleader and getting people to be on the show. You were able to get Mark and Alayna Huneycutt. I owe you $5.
Well, I couldn't do without Brooke, but then Brooke lets me know, and then I reminded Mark. I said, okay, we got a show on Monday, your time to shine. And I always put a little reminder in there on Fridays or Sundays so the guys know, they can get know what's going on. And yeah. Thank you, Brooke.
Yeah, thank you, Brooke.
Thank you, Mark and Alayna.
Thanks, Brooke.
Absolutely. And Jim for printing out all these things from Canada that smell like maple syrup. So when you get them, just go, it smells like maple syrup. Smells like Canada, eh? That's what it's all about. And Will Fly PPG, all of his awesome videos at willflyppg.com. Mark and Alayna, Huneycutt, all of their information is down below. Their links for YouTube and everything. So make sure you go there and subscribe if you haven't already. So subscribe, hit that bell notification. Something's coming in the works that they said that they can't tell us about, that you got to. So hit that bell notification. Go there and hit that up. I saw Elena's YouTube. You haven't posted anything about 2 years. Are you just posting everything together on one channel?
Yeah, pretty much once we got married and we were together all the time, it just didn't make sense to be separate videos anymore.
There you go.
Who knows? Maybe one of these days I'll just randomly throw one up there again.
Absolutely. Now, remember, tomorrow there's also another podcast, Paramotor Hangouts with Shane and Eric and Will. Who else? Will is on.
And Mark.
And Mark McElroy. That's right.
Yep.
From paralifeppg.com. And if you want a really good shirt, go to paralifeppg.com. Mark has the best, softest, amazing shirts ever. I have a merch thing too that helps support this channel, iloveppg.com. And you can always look down below, and we have some things underneath this video that helps support the show. We don't have sponsors. We just have you guys. So anything in the super chat just goes to buying more stickers, sending them out, and all that fun stuff. So we definitely appreciate everything you guys do. Also on, so that's ppglear.com, Lear. That's tomorrow's podcast. Then on Wednesday, you got Flying Flamingo Jade, all girl podcast. She's had astronauts on her podcast. Make sure you go and check her out at paramotorgirl.com on Wednesdays. And then, of course, on Thursdays, we got the mom of a very famous person. Linda,
Yes.
tell us about what's going on Thursdays.
My awesomest son, Robert Michaels, Thursday nights, paraglidingtalk.com. Y'all come and hang out. Always a good show.
Love it.
Always. So check us out.
Amazing. You guys don't go anywhere. We're going to kill this live stream and chat for just a couple minutes. And then we'll just say goodbye. But y'all have a great day. Thank you very much for going over to PPG Grandpa's Paramotor Podcast, clearproptv.com, paratalk.org. If you can remember all that stuff, just go there and check it out. It's really cool and amazing. We love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow on Eric's. We'll see you on Wednesday on Flying Flamingo J's, and of course on Thursday over at that one guy that flies.
Paraglidingtalk.com.
I love it when you say it. It's so awesome. Y'all have a great evening, and thanks again. We'll see you later.
Night.
You guys stay here. You guys don't go